Alright guys, Supreme Com here. So we are attempting to finish off the final boss of chapter 1. So the whole trick of this final boss is that you really want to stagger the boss in order to do any damage. So we, like, as far as the weapon that I'm using anything that I have in my arsenal that allows me to have the highest impact. So right now you guys can see that we barely do a little bit of damage, so at the same time trying to avoid all those barrage of missiles and just spraying at me. So that's what we're doing. So the missiles are both the same. Both sides are the same, so symmetrical. So I am trying to just fire them off whenever they are ready. And then we stagger again, so that's great. And then no, that did not go through. I have no idea why that didn't go through. I have no idea. So okay, look at that. Look at that wave of missile. Oh no, we died. Alright, so it took me 12 attempts to beat this boss, and I have learned a lot obviously through fighting this enemy. To be honest with you guys, I feel like I am fighting Kiro Yamato with the Freedom Gundam on the meter unit. It just feels like that. This guy is able to spam so many missiles, use like the melee weapon that it has, but it's crazy. So one thing I learned about this boss is throughout me fighting the 11 times, me changing out the loadout, I found that using the melee weapon that we have as like a default was really effective to just, you know, completely stagger the enemy. I think that was like the way that I do it. Once I know that the stagger bar is almost fill up, I just charge in melee attack and then spam a missile. I think that was like my kind of rotation as far as doing things. And then as far as like the approach, make sure you're up in personal, at least within range, so that when the enemy is gonna start spamming like that barrage missile like that right there, you know you can get up close, because those are all homing missile, and by the time it's gonna come back to you, you can immediately backdash. So that was the plan right there. Again, just immediately charges in, and then there's, you know, that bit of an open window where you can just strike you with your melee weapon and then start dealing damage. As far as like my primary like range weapon that I have on my right hand, I'm just using like a machine gun. Only 30 clips per mags, but I think that was enough just to give it that stagger alongside with the missile. And besides the missile, they're obviously symmetrical. I did pack the same missile, and what I use about them, I don't use them all at the same time. I kind of use it one after the other, so I know that once they connect, I'm gonna start launching the other one and then go in with that melee attack, and that was a really good combo. So that's pretty much what I will learn so far. And then just an FYI, towards the last 30%, just be careful, because it's gonna start spamming like I guess flamethrowers at you. Like the floor is like a lava. By the time you hit that 30% magical bar, it's gonna start doing that. So just kind of manage your gauge well, I would have to say, and then just weave in, weave out. That's that's the approach, you know. Just trying to see if you can spot the enemy spamming those missile use charges in, and then go for the melee attack, and that was it. I think there is that open area, like I said again, that you can do, go ahead and do some damage, as far as like doing your melee attack first, then actually doing damage after the enemy stun. That's kind of my approach. Hopefully this helped you guys. I mean, like, obviously I didn't commentate during the fight, so that could have given you a better perspective, but I think going through talking about how I went through it, I think should be sufficient enough. But other than that, I will show you guys the part just right now, so you guys know exactly which kind of part that I was using for this fight. Alright, so starting from the top to bottom, this is the build that I took down the chapter 1 final boss. So let's try this out. So I think I can just actually go to this like that. Yeah, this one, the post blade was honestly just a word of art. Like just being able to shred the stagger the enemy was kind of amazing. And then back in it, both of them are the same. The vertical missile launcher works like a charm. I don't know why, it's just it's just that good. Hit part, this one I did purchase this one. It wasn't that expensive, which I've been using it for quite some while now. Actually pretty top notch. This one didn't really buy anything. The arm's still the default one. The legs, I actually just bought the other bipedal one. This one, I don't know, this one works out. I tried using the default one. It didn't work out that great. So I don't know. Back unit, I think this is just, I think I should have bought this one. I believe I did. And then as far as the chips, I think I used the one that gives me a more medium range as this one. And then the generator, I did use this one, the VP20D. This one was a little bit expensive, but I mean, like, I don't think you really need this one. I'd rather sacrifice this one for something that gives me a little bit more boost. I think that's maybe will work out better. I don't know. As far as the expansion, I don't really have anything, but other than that, that's pretty much all the parts that I use. So yeah, you guys definitely let me know how was your result, and then I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.